Okay, Michelle Obama has come out with a new book blasting President Trump, blasting conservatives, blasting his supporters, calling them all sorts of names, crazy, this and that, blah, 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 whatever, whatever. One of the points in her book was that she said that she could never forgive Donald Trump for the whole birther thing when he suggested that former President Obama, may have been born in Africa. And she said she could never forgive Donald Trump for that, the President of the United States for that. Now, okay, let's look at this. Now, I mean, I could understand. I could understand her being upset with that. I mean, she's upset. I could, if she was a patriot, if she loved America, if she was proud of America, flying the flag. I mean, and then you got a president who's, come up from nowhere, become president of the United States, senator, this and that, yada, yada, yada. And, someone to say, oh, he's born in Africa, and you're upset with that, and you could never. Okay, I could. However, and this is a big however, the fact that Michelle is getting all upset and all mad and all crazy about Donald Trump accusing her husband of, well, not accusing, but suggesting that he could have been born in Africa is quite laughable. And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you something that from the moment I became aware of the Obamas, and Michelle Obama in particular, this is one thing that I could never forgive Michelle Obama on. And this happened right at the beginning of the 2008 election. I will never forgive that woman for saying that for the first time in her adult life, she was proud of the United States, her country, her own country, one of the greatest nations in the world, which has given her husband the opportunity to be on the verge of becoming president of the United States. And she said that for the first time in her adult life, she's proud of this country. So what were you before your husband was about to be president? What were you? Were you ashamed? Were you dismissive? Were you just apathetic of America? What were you, Michelle? What were you? You sit there and you write some scrawly a book talking about how you are so angry that Donald Trump suggested that my husband's not an American. How dare he says that my husband is not an American. This is his country. This is our country. Don't take that from us. Don't take America from us, Donald. I'm angry. What are you angry about? I mean, how old is Michelle Obama? I suggest she like in her 50s or something like that. Okay, let's assume that she is in her late 40s. Let's assume that. Let's assume she's in her late 40s, early 50s. And let's assume that when Obama ran for president in 2008, she was maybe mid-40s. That would mean that for 40 years, 42, 43 years, she was not proud of the United States. She was apathetic at the United States. She probably didn't like the United States. She probably was dismissive of the United States. She probably was contemptuous of the United States. So that would mean that for most of this woman's life, and Michelle Obama is one of the most foo-foo jigaboos you could ever meet. Here's a woman that when her husband went to Trinidad and Tobago, a beautiful Caribbean nation, she wouldn't want to go with him. She never went to Trinidad and Tobago. She didn't go there. Well, she wanted to go to Paris. She went to Paris with him. She went to London. She went to all these other European countries. But she did not go to Trinidad with Obama. She didn't want to go. And she's always, I mean, this woman has one of the straightest hairs, trying to have hair like the white woman. And now she's saying that she's angry because Donald Trump tried to take America from her husband. But for most of your life, woman, you were not proud of America. So shut your mouth. And that's why I don't have sympathy for. I was ready. I would be actually Democrat, Republican, Socialist, Communist, Fascist. I don't care. I would be ready, all too ready, to defend Michelle and her feelings and her right to be upset at Donald Trump for suggesting that Obama was born in Africa. Because even though in the beginning I was warning people about Obama, I was warning people, I was telling black people, don't vote for this man just because he's black, and he's not even black. He was raised by white grandparents who didn't like black people and who were ashamed of their daughter when she came home with a mixed race baby because they were as racist as whatever. Don't trust this man. Don't vote for someone because of the color of their skin, but vote for the content of their character like Dr. King. I was telling people. However, I made one of the first videos that this YouTube channel made was scolding conservatives viciously for suggesting that Obama was born in Africa. That is a damn lie. And I told them, you go to hell. You can go to hell. And I sympathize because you've got people who are very racist. They'll try to suggest that, you're not black. You're black, so you can't be a real American or Canadian or blah, blah, blah. Or all this sort of stuff. I mean, and it even happens on the left, too. If you say that you're a Canadian nationalist, that means it's only white people can be. I mean, so I can sympathize. But the moment Michelle Amazon Obama, went up on that stage and said for the first time in her adult life, she's proud of her country, when America is one of the nations which is the most hospitable towards black people. I'm telling you, go live in some other countries, even in Europe. You try being black in Russia. You try being black in Denmark. You try being black in Sweden. You're going to feel, you're not necessarily going to be strung up and hanged, even though you might be in Russia. But you live as a black person in Sweden, you're going to feel that you don't belong. You're going to feel it. America, blacks have been in America. They were brought in America as slaves. It's practically their country. It's practically theirs. They were forced to come here, and they've been here ever since. And the amount of black millionaires and black celebrities and black politicians that America has produced, not even Canada does that. And I'm a proud Canadian, but not even Canada does that. And for Michelle Obama to say something like that, yeah, America has done bad things, but every country has done bad things. Every single country. You think Canada hasn't done bad things? What they did to the natives? Britain, Sweden, and Denmark, all those countries, every single nation, even African nations have done bad things. Every nation has done bad things that they need to repent for. But America, for Michelle, who is a born American, to say that for the first time in her adult life, she's proud of her own country. For what reason, I don't know. Probably because America, while, America does do a lot for black people, America at the same time is not going to drop down on its knees and kiss the black man's ass. That's probably why. And for her to say that and now turn around and write a book saying that Donald Trump, I will never forgive him because he tried to take this country away from my husband. You have a pot to piss in, Michelle. You're not proud of the nation. So what you angry about? Might as well he was born in Africa. You're probably more proud. You'd probably be more happier there. But it's just when the nation is going to elect your husband, which was a bad mistake, is when they're going to elect him and you're going to live in the White House and you're going to be first lady and your husband going to be president and you're going to have chauffeurs and a motorcade. That's when you're proud, and that's when you're going to get up on your high horse and try and convince everybody that you're American and your husband's American. You don't have a pot to piss in, Michelle. You don't. And I don't respect Michelle Obama. She's one of the lowest human beings ever. She's a disgusting, as I told you, Michelle is a foo-foo jigaboo. She is literally a hypocritical woman who will, be proud of blackness and, all this sort of stuff. But at the same time, when your husband was president and he was going to the Caribbean, you didn't want to go with him. You didn't go with him at all. You're not doing anything. You're first lady. You're not doing anything. You could have gone with him to Trinidad. Everybody would have been happy to see you. It would have been a nice, beautiful thing. But you make sure you go to Paris. You make sure you go to London, and at the same time, you're straightening up your hair, trying to have hair like a white woman, and then you're going to go on like this. Michelle, I have no respect for you. And yes, I was angry. Trump should have never done that when suggesting that Obama was not an American. That was one of the worst things Donald Trump did, and he's repented for it, thank God. But I'm not defending Michelle. Because for 40 years of her life, she was not proud of her country. This is the Arana Nation.